In this video, I'll guide you on how and when to use the position absolute property in CSS. There are several values for the position property, including static, relative, absolute, fixed, and sticky. Among these, position absolute is often misunderstood. This is because it positions an element relative to its nearest positioned ancestor, an ancestor with a position set to relative, absolute, fixed, or sticky. If no such ancestor exists, the element will be positioned relative to the initial containing block, usually the body. It is removed from the normal document flow, meaning it won't affect the position of other elements. You can adjust its position using the top, right, bottom, or left properties. For this project, we'll use position relative as the nearest positioned ancestor. An element with position relative is positioned relative to its normal position, allowing you to adjust its position using the top, right, bottom, or left properties without affecting the layout of other elements. I have created a document with a container that includes a row, a column, and a heading. Additionally, there is a div with a class named myContainer that has a set height. Inside myContainer, there are 9 divs, each with a class of box, which gives them a specific width and background color. My goal is to position these boxes in different parts of the container using the position absolute property. First, I select the initial div and add the Bootstrap class position absolute. Then, I aim to do the same for the second box. However, this process can be tedious, so I use the multi-cursor feature in Code View to add position absolute to each remaining box. As a result, the boxes are now stacked on top of each other, occupying the default position. Starting with the top box, labeled 9, I need to move it to the bottom right-hand corner of the container. To achieve this, I add 2 Bootstrap classes, bottom0 and end0. Initially, the box appears in the bottom right-hand corner of the viewport because the container hasn't been positioned. By adding the Bootstrap class position relative to myContainer, box 9 settles inside the container. So what are these Bootstrap classes? These Bootstrap classes are a mixture of property and position. The format is property, position, where property is one of top, for the vertical top position, start, for the horizontal left position, bottom, for the vertical bottom position, end, for the horizontal right position, where position is one of 0, for 0 edge position, 50, for 50% edge position, 100, for 100% edge position. Let's put this into practice. The first 3 boxes are aligned at the top. The next 3 are centered. And the last 3 are aligned at the bottom. Moving forward, the first box is positioned at the start with 0 offset, the second box starts at 50, and the third box ends at 0. The remaining boxes follow the same pattern, each having its own absolute position. Looking at box 2, we see that the leading edge is aligned with the center line, and the top edge is aligned with the top of the container. In summary, where the property is top, the top edge is aligned. Start, the leading edge is aligned. Bottom, the bottom edge is aligned. End, the trailing edge is aligned. For the next part of this video, I start with a copy of the first container. Here I will show you how to absolute center these 5 boxes. This is done with the transform utility class named Translate Middle. Translate Middle will center the box in both horizontal and vertical directions. By adding an X or a Y to the Translate Middle class, the boxes can be positioned only in horizontal or vertical direction. To enhance the positioning of the boxes, I applied the Translate Middle class to each of the 5 boxes. As a result, box 5 is the only one that is correctly positioned. Box 2 achieves horizontal alignment, while boxes 4 and 6 attain vertical alignment. Lastly, box 8 also achieves horizontal alignment. The boxes are now perfectly aligned as intended. With a basic understanding of absolute positioning and bootstrap classes for controlling positions, let's explore real-life scenarios. I've created several examples requiring absolute positioning of one or more elements. The first example features a button with a styled badge inside it. Instead of leaving the badge in its current position, I want it to protrude from the top right corner. I start by giving the button a relative position. Then add absolute positioning to the badge. Followed by top 0, start 100, and translate middle. The result is exactly as I envisioned. The second example features a rounded pill with an SVG inside of it. The idea here is to have the triangle hanging from the bottom center of the pill. The pill is styled with position relevant. The SVG is given position absolute. Followed by top 100, start 50, and translate middle. Finally, the pill and the SVG share the same color, resulting in a cohesive and polished marker. The third example features a button with a badge. The button is styled with the usual position relative. The badge gets the same treatment as the badge in the first example, with the same result. This final example showcases a progress bar accompanied by 3 buttons styled as rounded pills. To begin, the containing div is styled with a relative position. The first button is then positioned absolutely, followed by setting its top to 0, start to 0, and applying a translate middle transformation. The same treatment is applied to the remaining 2 buttons, with the only difference being their start positions. As I have exhausted the use of the word position, I will now conclude this video. I hope you found it helpful, and thank you for watching.